We vibe the Dope Girl. Boys coming in a minute. It's Amina over there in the corner. Police, you probably know this. She can't hoop.
Too good.
Ready? Countdown, give me a countdown. Just give me one. Welcome to episode 2 on the come up. And today we got some very exciting guests. So right here we got Austin Jade, famous dope girl, got her brand going on, doing everything, being one of the top lady brands in LA and really doing her thing. We got USC athlete Tony Beeves, Anthony Beavers, top recruit out of LA, the face. And then we got one of the best chefs out right now, who I've really been interested in talking to. We got Sophia Finley, and she really does her thing cooking. So this is episode 2, and I wanted to get these guys on the show to show them, you know, what they went through and inspire you guys. So I'll start off with Austin. We'll start off with you, but let's talk about, you know, you guys' early stages and what got you guys influenced into, you know, starting your brand and you playing ball and you cooking. But what influenced you to, you know, start Dope Girl?
I started Dope Girl at the beginning of the pandemic. So like March 15th is when I got my first Dope Girl design made. And then I printed my first ever like sample April 15th. And ever since then, like I've just been like really into making clothes and like designing clothes. I want to say what made me want to start is at the beginning of the pandemic, like the first week, I had got in trouble and I didn't have nothing but my computer and I was just bored and I was just like, I'm tired of this, like I'm ready for a change, and Dope Girl is my change. And ever since then, like Dope Girl just has kept me distracted, so I didn't have time for anything else.
I think what got me started playing football was my family, honestly. Everybody in my family plays some type of sport or does something extracurricular. So I think that helped me join into football. And then I played a lot of Madden growing up when I was like 6 years old. So that was a family household video game. So from there, I signed up like when I was like 6. I was scared to do it at first. Signed up for Leimert Park Chargers, got my first flag season in, and then from there, the rest is history.
Got you, you know, influenced into, you know, cooking?
I think what got me influenced was being in like a Filipino mixed household, that we were always cooking, always in the kitchen, always having parties. So it was like, I feel like I was just always doing it. And it wasn't something that I seen myself doing or something I wanted to do, but I feel like I just grew to love it. And now it's like I could do it like secondhand.
What was some things that you may have faced, like some adversity that you guys had to encounter when you had just started, you know, doing what you guys were doing? But what was something that, and Tony, you can start off with this, but what was something that, you know, maybe you had to encounter at that age? Or, you know, like you said, you have everyone in your family that does something extracurricular and you having to keep up to that standard. So what was something that you may have faced during that time?
Having fun. Like, still a kid, so don't take everything so personal, make it so business oriented. Try to enjoy it as much as possible because you're still a child. And then from there, it was just separate myself, do everything, do all the little things right, just separate myself from the crowd. So that's getting them extra workouts in, hitting the books harder. It was just really just locking in on the task at hand.
Yeah, I would say that's the same for me because, you know, we both play sports. So when I was coming up and I was just starting doing things like that, I would say, like, you know, my dad was so hard on my brother and I to do these things perfect, and sometimes it was making it seem like it wasn't fun. And that was the main thing as a kid. Like, a lot of kids now are starting to not take the fun, but the parents or some things are taking the fun out of the sport, especially at that age when, you know, certain things like recruiting or stuff like that it shouldn't be a priority at that age. So I definitely feel like, I definitely understand you on that part. And what about you? Like, what was something that you may have faced that was hard during that time?
So I don't want to say I didn't really face anything in the beginning that was that hard, but I feel like the biggest problem that I faced was not being able to relaunch, not being able to move forward as Dope Girl. So as some of you guys might know, like when I first started, it was Dope Girl, but now I have to rebrand because as I was like getting everything like legal wise together, I went to go trademark Dope Girl, but someone else had Dope Girls trademarked with an S. So I reached out to them, like asking them, like, can I like purchase a trademark from them? And then that turned into like, if I don't stop, like if I don't cease using Dope Girl, that they were gonna sue me. So that really like, I don't want to say it set me back. It set me back for that day because I was like really hurt because I'm like, I only like wanted to be Dope Girl. Like I can't think of any other name for myself. Like Dope Girl is really what I wanted to go with. And then my mom and her boyfriend came up with Austin J. And then I was like, well, that's me. Like I can use that. Like that's me. Why didn't I think of that? Because I was thinking like Dope Girl backwards or like any way I can still use Dope Girl. So then I came up with Austin Jade, and then now that's just like, it's perfect because that's me.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just something I call myself for like a period of time. Like I'm forever gonna be Austin Jade.
Yeah, and I like that name because it kind of, it's your name, and
Right.
it kind of reminds me of like a Sean John or like a Michael Kors, like
Right.
something like that really, you're using your name, which a lot of people, I say a lot of brands that are out here don't really use their own name.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was really creative. That was pretty much that was a really good idea. And what about you? Like, I know, like, what age did you start cooking? Like, when did it all start?
I want to say like 7. Like when I was really young, I used to like to bake. I didn't really like to cook. I used to like cupcakes and like watching Cupcake Wars and like doing stuff like
real.
that. Like yeah, like I used to like watch that with my mom. And I always wanted to be like on Cupcake Wars. Always wanted to be a professional baker. And then it's like I really got into food, and it was like that was just my craft. Like it was just like I love to do it, and it's like it. I like to cook because it brings everybody together. Like family-wise, it was like even having parties. It was like the food brings everybody together and it makes everybody happy, which I really enjoy doing.
Was there ever that time when you were younger when you were like, no, come cook, but you were like, I ain't really feeling it right now, or
Yeah, there was a lot of times like that. Like I told you, I didn't want to do it. It wasn't something that I seen myself pursuing in like a future goal. But then when I started to really like, I didn't start to feel like that until everybody told me like, dang, Soph, like you're good, like you're good at this. And it's like, so I started to take it more serious. But I think like one of the things I struggled with was mentally, and it was like everybody's cooking, you feel me? Like you see Instagram, you going through your feed, you just see cooking, everybody's cooking. It's a whole new chefs out there, it's a whole bunch of food places you could go to. So it's like I was kind of feeling like discouraged, I guess, and I would make myself feel like, well, everybody's doing it, like I don't think I could be top tier, I don't think I could be like the best at it. But I started popping out more and like getting more customers, and like my mentality, my like confidence in it had grew a lot.
Yeah, I would definitely say for me, like, well, I would say when I started the clothing line, I think I said this in the last episode, but me starting the line was like, I had to really figure out things about clothes. Like I had to learn about the clothing business and how to do this and that, and what people like, what people don't like. And it's far from like starting with the show. Like I just shot the first episode a month ago, and I'm still trying to figure out like how I can improve on certain things. Like I don't have a tech crew. I don't have a whole bunch of other stuff, so I have to figure out how can I make this sound better, or how can I get this angle, and how can I do that. So I just feel like in the early stages, like me, watching the first episode and then seeing how it would grow from this episode to the next episode to the next episode would probably be the best thing for me. But I would definitely say starting that and then trying to figure out like how to manage things, how to run a show when I'm, not a director was probably the thing that was probably the hardest thing for me. But the pandemic, so we've been in the pandemic since March. It started in March. How has the pandemic affected you mentally or physically, or affected the brand? How has that affected you in positive ways and negative ways? We can start with you, but how has it affected you?
With me, it was like I kind of but like slowed down on selling food, because I feel like it's a lot of contact, and it's like I just want to protect myself and protect others, you feel me? Like I could go to the store and then get COVID, and it's like I'm selling all this food, I'm touching all the food, and it's like then I gotta tell everybody else that I sent the food out to that I got COVID, So it's just like it's a protective thing, just protecting myself and protecting the others around me, and making sure that like, everything is smooth, and like having to like really not like, I would clean everything before, but like now it's like I really want to like get like, you feel me, like be more aware of what I'm doing.
How has it affected you, or has it helped you in a positive way? Or how's the pandemic helped your business?
I think it helped me in a positive way, because a lot of people are like probably more on the socials now, and like more like, you feel me, like wanting to, I guess, try new food, or like some food places is closed, so it's like I think it gives me a better opportunity at sometimes.
Yeah, and then you didn't get to play your senior year. So talk to us about how COVID may have helped you, like, you know, maybe train more. Because we've been training, we was at F House, we was training, June, summertime. So talk to us about how that's helped you in a positive way, but also in a negative way.
The biggest thing that COVID has helped me is just kind of become a mental beast, if that makes sense. Just kind of program my mind and just visualize and manifest a lot of things that I want to see myself doing, because all I had was time, watch a lot of movies, just kind of get to know myself better, if that makes sense. Because I don't think you can honestly know yourself as good as you think you can know yourself. So I had a lot of time to sit myself and look myself in the mirror, and then a lot of working out, eating. So yeah, I think that separated me a lot, just mentally, just creating a new beast, I would say.
Would you say that the most negative thing about the pandemic was not playing your senior year?
I don't know, for real. I was kind of ready to go to college anyways, so the senior year wasn't as big of a deal. But I'd say, like, not going to school.
Yeah.
I like to interact, talk to new people, so I think that was pretty big for me. And just being locked up and cooped up in my room, yeah, so that was kind of hard.
Are you enrolled at SC now?
Yeah, I'm enrolled at SC.
Oh, Mom, you got a chosen right here.
Fight on.
Yeah, but what about you? How's it impacted you?
I would say that the pandemic has done me great, like great. This was a time for me to sit down and figure things out. Like, this pandemic was meant to be for me. It gave me, it didn't really stop any of my business. I was able to, like, grow a lot. I would say, like, sales wise, a lot of people spend a lot of time on Instagram, so they're just scrolling and, like, they'd be like, oh, this is cute, or they save it, and then, like, once you keep seeing it again and seeing it again, like, oh, maybe it is meant to be, like, maybe I should buy this. So I would say, like, it's done me well, because a lot of people just have a lot of time to just sit and just on their phone and on social media. So it was great, because it was like I'm advertising my business through social media, and yeah, like, it gave me time to just figure stuff out and sit down and think of a plan and what do I want to do in my life.
Yeah, the pandemic has definitely helped me see my versatility in a lot of things that I want to do. And it really, like you said, like, trying to find myself, you don't really know yourself. But I feel like this pandemic has really, helped me see, like, all the things I'm really good at. Like, I'm really good at communicating with people. Why not start a show, or why not start a podcast and talk to, other top recruits, or talk to, successful teenagers in Los Angeles and how they're thriving. I would say the pandemic has helped me in that regard. And it also helped me, like, help others, like, build their name, build their brand, and show that, I'm trying to spread, how can I say this? Spread everyone's clout, give everybody the name, give everyone give everyone a chance to grow and stuff like that. So I would say that. And then negatively, I would say, like, like, not going to school, being around, like, I just transferred. Like, when I transferred to Dorsey, I was only in there for a month. So I came from this small private school to going to a big public school, and it's like I only have 10 friends at this big public school. So I would definitely say that. And then I would definitely say not playing, because I'm a junior. So that's like year 3 is like the most important year for film. You know that. That's the money year. So not being able to play, but doing stuff like this is definitely kind of take my mind off that. Even though I'm still training and doing everything, but just talking to other people and lifting everyone up. I feel like that was the best thing about the pandemic. Is like it got me to really explore what I really like to do. Now, when I was younger, all I wanted to do was play college football and do this and that. But now it's like, okay, I can go to school at a HBCU or at a PWI and already have my name built up from doing a show. So now maybe I'm gonna start, like, maybe when I go to college, I'll be like a marketing major, or maybe I'll be into journalism. Right. So things like that. So I feel like the pandemic really helped us expand and see what we really like.
I for sure think that, because now that I think about it, like, for a long time I wanted to be a nurse. Like, I was always interested in being in the medical field. And, like, during the pandemic, my mom works with homeless, like, she houses homeless. So we took one of her clients to the ER, and then I just seen, like, how unhappy the nurses were and how hectic, like, it was. And then, like, I would see how, like, the nurse, like, I know a few nurses, and, like, the nurses around me, like, they're not really, like, they're happy because, like, the money that they make is good, but they're not happy. Like, genuinely happy, and I want, like, whatever I want to do, like, I always want to be happy. Like, no matter how much money I make, I want to be happy. And doing this, I'm happy because even before, like, I started designing clothes, I was really into fashion. I like getting dressed, I like taking pictures. So it's like now I'm the one designing the clothes, and I'm the one, like, creating. I'm the creator now. So it's really nice because I found my craft. I found what I like to do.
Yeah. I mean, now being from LA, like, you know, you got to deal with a lot, especially like they, you know, the media and everyone portrays it as like us being not really lifting each other up in terms of like being together, like how Atlanta is, or you know how the South is and stuff like
Right.
that. So being one of the top faces in LA in you guys' craft, like tell me how the good thing is when you get to receive love from people, or you know, you maybe you walk in the mall or something, or somebody you see is like, oh, you got Dope Girl, or oh, you know, I see your page, like you cook, or you know, you a baller. How is that getting that love from people you see? Like sometimes you don't even know the people, but how is that, you know, getting the love? How's that?
I love it. I think like people should show more love. I think that this generation tends to put everybody down so that they could get up, and I don't think that's the way to do it at all. So it's like when people, even when like, you know, say like Tone texts me like, dang, so that was so fire, like that makes me so happy. Like even if it's just a slider, like it's just me being able to put like a smile on his face, feed him, like make him feel like that. I think that's like the best thing to do. So I feel like getting love from even people you don't know is like, even the ones that you don't know, that ones, they be the ones who hit more, because like you don't even know them, and they took the time out to show you love. And I think we should all, you know, tune into doing that.
Yeah. And then
You can really cook. Don't never doubt yourself.
Yeah.
She really can.
But like you know, us playing ball, you know, you've been the face of LA, like, you know, Baldwin Hills, you grew up all around that area, and you know everybody, and you grew up seeing everyone in college and the pros. So, you know, you was a kid at that time that was looking up to everyone that's there now. So how's that being in that position now? You got all the younger kids looking up to you, trying to you know, get to your level.
I would say it's definitely motivating, just for people to constantly tap in. I could say definitely for like the people who I've been looking up to, like studying their game. Just I think words of encouragement are big. It kind of gives you a moment of clarity. Just kind of like you're doing the right thing. Just keep going. And then for the people that's constantly tapping in, this is an extra boost of motivation. Kind of realign you. The days you're down, somebody texts you like, man, I'm your biggest fan. I love what you do. It kind of realign you, get you back on track. So I think that's one of the biggest things about people showing love.
Yeah, it's like you said, like, you know, I didn't think that me starting a quarterback podcast would be bigger than what it turned out to be. So when there's kids that are 6-7 years younger than me, and we're at a football practice and they're telling me that they watch my show, it's like, you know, that feels good, because I don't really expect a 8-year-old wide receiver or something like that to watch a show that, you know, it's just all about quarterbacks. But for him to come up to me and just tell me like, oh, hey, you have a show, like, I feel like that's, you know, that could really change your day. That could really inspire a lot of people. So I would definitely say that. And then, like, you know, just being a role model, you know, you never know how one word of encouragement, or, you know, something that could just change someone's life, it could really influence someone to, you know, go harder. So I definitely feel you on that one. But what about you?
I would say it makes me feel really good, because when I'm working, I feel like I'm just, I don't want to say just doing stuff, but I feel like I'm just doing stuff, because when I'm working, I don't really feel like I'm working. Like, what looks like I'm really working hard to you guys just feels like a regular day. So when people, like when I'm out working, or I say I'm downtown, like the other day, I was downtown and I was walking past one of my vendors, and one of his customers were standing inside his store. And he was like, "You're Dope Girl." He was like, "Aren't you the Dope Girl? I seen you on Melrose. I supported you." And then it feels good, because it's like people remember you, and people like know your brand. And yeah, I'll just say it feels good. And then like I do like form entries on my website, so like reading the form entries, and it's like people like, I love your clothes. Your clothes are so amazing. I adore your clothes. It feels so good, because it's like, well, like people are really paying attention. Like people are really like tuned into what I'm doing. So it feels great. It feels really good.
Now, talk about the positive, but how have you dealt with the haters? Like, how do you? How have you dealt with that? Like, what encountering that? Like, how did you handle that? And you know, maybe tell us about like a time where, you know, you experienced that hate like firsthand. I know you probably.
What should I say? Okay, I would say asking other businesses like where they got something from, and then it was like they didn't want to share with me. And then as my business grows and as like they see what I'm doing and see that I'm growing, they want to like tap back in with me like, oh, do you do this? Do you do screen printing? But it's like, I just asked you for your vendor, and I just asked you like for some help, and you didn't want to help me, and now you want me to help you. So it's like, it's crazy, but I can't say that I've like learned to deal with like negativity and like haters like way better. Like now, I really just ignore a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm 100% unbothered. So it's just like, everything's about Austin Jade. Like, my business is my life. So it's like, anybody else's opinion doesn't matter. Like a lot of people be like, why does she charge so much for her clothes? Or like, why does that amount? But it's like, my pieces and the stuff that I sell and the stuff that I create is like quality pieces. So a lot of people, like they make their clothes and they just get what's cheaper or what's like affordable for them and like what's cheaper, but it's like, yeah, and they charge their price and they're like, well, they charge this for their hoodies. Why are your hoodies like this? But it's like, the quality is different. Like I don't get my jackets where everybody else gets their jackets from, or I don't get my sweatsuits or my crop tops or my pieces where everybody get their pieces from. So it's like, it's not for everybody. So like I learned that going out on Melrose, like I would say like my customers like in LA, like amongst like the most of it, like us, they'll be like not really into it because I charge a lot, but when I go on Melrose, they have no problem spending it. They like really into it. They really like it because they know quality pieces, like they know quality clothes. Like you can wash it, you wash my clothes, they won't just shrink. Like you don't have to do the most for your clothes not to be nice. Like my clothes are gonna look good regardless. So
That's something that's important because, like going back to the support, a lot of people won't really understand where you're trying to take your clothing line. Like
Right.
if you're trying to do this for a long period of time and it's designer, so
Right.
They rather spend their money on
Big
$500 shoes. And how much does your hoodie cost?
my hoodies are $45.
$45, right? I sell my hoodies for the same thing.
Right.
So, I just feel like if you like you say, you went down to Melrose in a different environment or a different situation, and they'll be gladly to
Right.
buy 2 or 3 hoodies. So,
Right.
I just feel like that was something good. And then for you, like you got writers, like you said, you're going into college, you are a freshman, around a lot of these dudes. Like SC was in the Pac-12 championship last year, so now you're coming in and trying to make a name for yourself. So what is some of the hate that you may receive, even when you were in high school? What's some of the hate that you may receive from writers or players, or just something that you had to overcome?
I think the biggest thing, everybody gonna have their own opinion, but I feel if your support system is strong, if you have that right net, what is it called?
Mentality.
Nah, it's called a nest egg.
I got that from Shannon Crowder.
Your little nest egg. I believe if your support system is always backing you, kind of don't matter what no one says about anything, and then it just kind of steps back onto your confidence.
Right.
If somebody say you're not fast enough, just have that in your mind when you're working out. If somebody say you're not strong enough, or if somebody says your brand isn't cool enough, or
Right.
you don't, that's when you just create more content, and then a lot of people think momentary. I would say for like you guys. So if y'all up your prices, like.
Yeah, I think you gotta know your worth too,
Right.
especially with everything you selling. Like, if they think it's too much, then they think it's too much. But if you know that that's what it's worth, then that's what it's worth to you.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe
I would
in your
say.
brand, believe in what you're doing.
Well, what was like when you say like you train and stuff, like what was that thing that you focused on before you was going into school? Like, I want to get bigger, or I want to get faster. Like, what was that main thing? It was like, I gotta fix this, or something that was just nagging you. Obviously it was like, okay, once I go, into school, I'm gonna make sure I perfect this so that when I get there, they can't say nothing about it.
I think the biggest thing for me was just becoming stronger all around, from my head to my toes, if that makes sense. And then the biggest thing that I remind myself of when I'm working out, I think about a Rolls Royce. So if I want this Rolls Royce,
Gotta work for it.
like if the weight too heavy, push it up. Like if you want the Rolls not gonna come easy.
Right.
You don't see that many roses unless you go into that different environment. So I believe not materialistic things motivate me, but
That goal.
that goal. Like, I don't know, like I want a Rolls Royce Dawn on Forgiato. So that takes, I would say that takes Rolls Royce Epic.
Right.
You can't want a Rolls Royce and have Toyota Epic. You gotta have Rolls Royce Epic.
That's how I feel about Dope Girl, because when I think of Dope Girl and Austin J, same thing. So when I think of my brand, I think how I really want to store it. Like since March, my dad really wants me to have a store, but my mom's like, she should build her clientele, like she should build her customer base, like site-wise, and it's just like, yeah, like that's a good idea, but I really, really want to store. So when I'm working, now I slow down when I'm printing my jackets or when I'm like heat pressing my diamonds. I slow down because I'm like, I need to take my time. Every jacket, every sweatsuit, every diamond needs to be perfect. Like now I would say, as my business, like over the past year that I've been doing this, I would say that I'm starting to really care about, always cared about my product, but I want it to be perfect. Like I don't want anything to be wrong with it. I want it to be like my best work, because I want a store. And in the store, I need perfect work. I need all of my clothes to be right. I need all of my prints to be right, my patches to be lined up, and like everything to be perfect. So like when I'm working, I think about that store that I want on Melrose. I really want a store, like really bad.
Have you had any haters or anyone try to come out like, you know, they want to battle you for top cook position or anything that just having like anybody you know try to talk down on you? There's no reason for them to be talking down on you. Like.
I'm telling you that food is fire. Like
I wouldn't really say like with food, but I think like just in general, like when I was younger, I would say like this is what really had me like get my mindset up. Like when I was younger, I would get bullied a lot. So it's like I had to learn how to deal with that and like build up my walls so that no matter how many like bricks are thrown at me, like, you feel me, my walls are strong. Nobody could, you know, knock my walls down. And I think that's just like, especially in this generation, it's good to have your walls built up, because even with the pandemic in the world, it's a lot of negativity going on, and it's easy to get discouraged. So I feel like you should not only like have that mindset for yourself, but surround yourself with people who have that mindset, who's gonna feed knowledge and positivity and motivate you to be your best self. Because if you're not around those people, then you just gonna, you know, be average. You don't want to be average. You want to be at the top of your game all the time.
Yeah, I would say, for me, like being out here, it's real weird. Like, you know, being an athlete, and then having, you know, doing a show and doing another show and having a clothing line. So I would say, like, a lot of people would be like, oh, how you gonna do this? You don't have these resources, this and that, blah blah. But like, bro, I made the LA Times off doing a Zoom interview that was no longer than 20 minutes. So I just feel like a lot of haters, they don't really think that I can do a lot of the things that I'm doing. Like this show, we in the studio right now. We got cameraman. I'm trying to get the show to maybe, I don't know, go on TV, or, you know, maybe get this deal. Like I'm wearing a Swatch shop. I'm trying to get a sponsorship. So it's a lot of people that don't really believe that, you know, I can really take a lot of these things to the next level, when honestly it's not even that hard if you just put in the work. Right. Like, we all start somewhere. We all didn't start off with all the talent or knowing how to cook everything or knowing how to make every single piece of clothing. So I just feel like they don't believe that, you know, I can put in the work to do everything that I'm doing. So I just feel like I have those qualities, and I think being in LA, everyone's always trying to bring the next person down, and, you know, this and that. We got to start lifting each other up more. So I definitely say the outside noise, there's a lot of haters that don't think I can really accomplish what I'm doing, you know.
I would say that, like, starting a business and like growing, I would say that it's taught me to support everybody. Like, everybody. People will like send me they'll DM me like, oh, can you post my business? Can you post my candles? And I really want to support everybody, because this is the same support I needed when I first started. When I first started, I was nervous to send my post out when I posted it to people, because it's like, they're gonna be like, why is she sending me this? Like, growing, I've learned to support everybody, because when you started, you needed that same support. And not even when you started, as you're going, you needed that same support. And in business, you need support. You need people like to support you, and you need people to like make you feel like you're doing something, even like when times like you don't, and it's just like, dang, nobody supports me, nobody's really buying from me. But you need, like, I feel like you need to put in good energy to get it back. So I try, like, to, when I see stuff, I like repost it or try to promote it as much as I can, because I want everybody to win. Like, I feel like we shouldn't bring each other down. Although there is a lot of brands in LA, I feel like we should all just work together. It built like we all doing brands. We're all look at it as we're all doing something. We're all in high school and we're all still figuring out a way to make money for ourselves and to work for ourselves and like to grow. So I feel like this generation needs to look at success a different way instead of from a hater point of view. Yeah.
I would definitely. That's pretty much the reason why I made the show. It's like, you know, and when I made the show, like, you know, it's just, I wanted to be us younger people. Like, we're teenagers and we're really doing our thing right now. It's a lot of things that we do. A lot of things that normal teenagers don't do, and I feel like that's why I wanted to, you know, make the shows like put a limelight on everyone who's really, you know, on the come up. That's really doing their thing from the land. So I feel like a lot of the old heads aren't gonna show a lot of us, or sometimes don't show a lot of the younger kids. They don't put them in the limelight. They rather just be like, oh, okay, you doing this, but like, where's the exposure? Or will you be willing to help me do this? And they're not willing to do it. I'm 17, I'm gonna try to do it for anyone that's younger than me and even older than me. So I feel like that's the main reason why I have the show. It's called On the Come Up. Everybody's on the come up, and you never know, 5 years from now, you could be one of the top clothing lines in the country. You could be, you know, if cooking is something that you're really all into doing and, you know, you want to take it to the next level, you could be, I don't know, what's the show with the dude, Top Chef? Yeah, dude, you could be on that show and win. You lead. You know, it's the league, but you started 6 years old at Rancho. So it's just a lot of things that, you know, I wanted to do. I wanted to put a limelight on everyone because I know that a lot of people don't try to really put the light on everyone. So
Give everybody a chance to grow, to promote, and to be better.
Yeah, I think that's good too, because not everybody has that platform. You're using your platform not only to, you know, benefit you, but to benefit everybody else around you. And I think that's real dope that you're doing that. Because like we said, a lot of people just try to knock everybody down so they can get to the top. But then they're at the top and it's like, you feel me? They don't really got nothing. They don't got nobody because they pushed everybody down so that they could get up
to the
there.
top. And that's another thing too. It's like, it's like we see it all the time. We see it all the time when it's people from the league and they both from LA and they, you know, they going against each other. That's like they both at the top. They all went through it at the same place, doing it from when they were 6 all the way to, you know, they grown men. So that, I feel like sometimes that's a better feeling than when you just at the top and there's nobody to the left or right of you. It's like, okay, I did all of this, but like, you know, sometimes it could get alone at the top. But I just feel like, you know, if you do it and you bring everybody else up, it's like, dang, you at the top. I've been knowing him since I was 8 years old, and we did all of this out here, and now we both running $1 million businesses and doing stuff like that. So I just feel like that's a good thing. Like, I just feel like using my platform, because like when we come back and all y'all are famous, I'm gonna be like, yeah, they was on my show first. So I know them. Like, my contact list is full of everybody. Like, he in the league, she, you know, I'm trying to get this personal chef. Like, I'm trying to pay her a lot. You know, maybe my friends wearing your clothes. So I'm just trying to, you know, build a platform for everyone and spread the love. But biggest influences. What were you guys' biggest influences of you know, starting your brand or playing and cooking? Like, who would you say was that one person that was just like that just got you into, you know, doing what you do?
I think the struggle just brings something out of you. Not coming up and having everything that I want. So if you don't have everything you want, you got to do what you never done to get there. And then just taking everything in and soaking it in and just learning from everything. So if you learn from the lady on the bus stop sick, I can't be right there. And then I think, yeah, it's just learning from my environment. It's a lot of stuff that happens around our neighborhoods that is just like motivation. I would say, yeah, the biggest thing is just motivation.
And what about you? Like you said that you guys used to have like parties and stuff like that. The house was always family oriented. But like maybe was it one person that was like that may have told you like you go a really long way with this?
Not really. Like, I think just cooking, like, it was just so regular to them, like, to my family. Like, it was just regular. It wasn't something that they seen themselves doing or, you know, I seen myself doing. But I think that, like what Tone said, like, my experiences, my path, I feel like that's really shaped me to, like, know what I want. And I feel like everybody has their different paths, you know. Your path could be rocky, his path could be straightforward, no rocks on it, no bumps, nothing. And I just feel like we don't know each other's paths, and sometimes we don't know our own path. And it's like we just gotta keep going. And I feel like I've had a lot of bumps in my road, but I've overcame all of those bumps. So it was like You feel me? Everything that was thrown at me meant to destroy me, it didn't. And I overcame all of that. So I think that's like what influences me to keep going, really.
Yeah, that's dope. What about you?
I would say what Tone says, my environment. I would say my family really influenced me because I don't want to say I don't want to be like them, but I don't want to be like them. I want to be better than them. I want to, because I have a couple of cousins that aren't too well, I would say, and I just look at them and I'm just like, I don't want to be 28 still coming to my mom's house drunk, arguing, fighting with her. Like, I don't want to be, my mom house is homeless. I don't want to be saving up $850 for shared housing. Like, I don't, seeing that and seeing like all the people and like Tone said on the streets, we got off the freeway, so ladies, I couldn't tell what they were, but it was a person sitting on the bus with a sheet over their head. I don't want to be that. Like, I want to be way better than my environment and what's around me and what I'm surrounded by. And I would say one person that's influenced me to be better is my mom. Like, she's really a great person. Like, I don't know really how to explain it, but she's just really just like all around a great person. Although like stuff in her life has taken her down, and like stuff that she deals with on the daily is like stresses her out, she still runs my business. She still runs Free From Hardship. She still helps her mother. Like, she still, like, she does a lot. Like, she's just really a great person. Like, there was a homeless lady, she got her car took, like, that's like right around the corner from our house, and the police took her car and just dumped all her stuff onto the curb, and people was passing by like, do you plan on living here? How long are you gonna be here? And my mom took this step like ahead and got her a hotel room, and then was even gonna, my brother has a car that he's selling, was even gonna get her the car, but we went back to the hotel room and she was gone by then. But like, I would say she really just encourages me to like be as best as I can and to just really be a good person, because you just never know what someone's going through.
I think that's dope too, because my family got what's that called? A scholarship program in the Philippines.
Right.
And going over there, it was like, wow. Like, you feel me? Like, LA, yeah, we have a lot of homeless people, but it's like, over there it's poverty, and over there it's like they don't have no choice.
Right.
So it's like, that motivates me to want to be better too, so that I could go and I could, help them. I could help the homeless people. I could, you feel me? I don't want to be like that, but I want to be better so that, they could be better.
Right.
And I feel what you're saying.
And I love like, I was like my mom. I love my mom, and I love like watching her work makes me really happy, because I see me when I get older. Like, so she has Free From Hardship, and yes, she brings people in, and she doesn't just bring them in to house them. She tries to figure out a path for them. Okay, you're here, but how do you get to the next step? How do you get from shared living into living on your own, into get your own Section 8 voucher? Like, I just love that she tries, you're here, but what's the next step? I love that she tries to help them grow, and not just, you're here, I'm gonna take your $850 and you just living here for the month, and I'm not. She doesn't like, and I'm just not gonna help you. Like, she tries to help them grow and get to like a better space in life. So it motivates me to do better and to be the best version of myself.
That's really cool. I would say, like, my parents influenced me, of course. They're hardworking and they do a lot. But I would definitely say what influenced me was like, they taught me not, don't follow the crowd, make your own lane. So, me being under recruited right now and not, having a big name, I had to find other ways to, get my exposure and get my name out there. So, making my own lane was like, okay, my dad was like, you good with communication, why don't you do this? So him having the idea of starting a podcast was really cool, and me just was taking it to the next level. But like, I don't know, just, I would probably say like we go back to the haters, like not being able to do certain things or have certain resources because, I wasn't the big name guy. I had to find other ways to, make a way for myself. I had to make it happen. So, transferring from a private school to a public school was another thing that like really changed everything, because it's like a lot of people are going back into the private schools and they're taking all the kids out of the area. So me being one of the kids that actually did something that a lot of kids don't do was like, I'm trying to be a trendsetter. That was always my thing, like start your own thing, start your own blank, is what my dad would say, start your own whatever. But I would definitely say just not trying to be different, but trying to be a leader in my own way and trying to do things on my own and find different lanes to just do things. Like it's a good feeling when I know that I'm getting recruited or my name is getting bigger because I'm doing a podcast and a show instead of my name just getting bigger because I'm just an athlete.
Right.
Like I feel like me being versatile is better in the world and being known than just me just playing football. Right. That goes a long way, especially when I'm talking to all these other people from other businesses and meeting all these people. It's like, oh, you do X, Y, and Z, and I don't just have to worry about you playing on Saturday nights. Like, it's just a good feeling when people come up to you. It's like, oh yeah, when I'm writing down the application, I could put that I do this, this, and this, and this. Like, there's no way you can turn me down.
Right.
So I just feel like being qualified and having to prove that I'm more than just an athlete, I'm more than just a scholar or something like that is what influenced me.
I feel like that too, because a lot of people, they just sell their jackets, and that's fine. But I would say, I don't just do jackets. When I first started, I was just thinking sell hoodies, but I don't just sell hoodies. I design clothes, and it's like you start things and you dig deeper and you dig deeper and you dig deeper. When I started Dope Girl, I was just thinking hoodies, like literally just hoodies. And then my dad sat me down and he was like, so what does Dope Girl mean? And he has a shed in his backyard, and we're sitting in the shed, and the shed has a whiteboard. So he's like, grab the marker, and I'm like, okay, like just irritated, cause like I want to start Dope Girl. Let's just print this jacket and let's just do that. And he's like, grab a marker. He was like, so what does Dope Girl mean to you? So I'm just thinking it. He's like, write down everything that comes to your head. So I'm like, okay, personality, style, and just like I'm just thinking of like what Dope Girl means to me. So then we came up with a girl with an alluring personality, style, and very self-assured. Then it was just like, well, that's nice because that's my definition. That's a definition that I sat down, he picked my brain, and we really came up with. Like, so I would say my parents, like motivating me. And like my dad, he talks a lot. So he talks, but it's like he talks a lot, but he'll have you thinking 30 minutes after the conversation, like, whoa, like, okay, like he will have your mind going and thinking. Like he always puts stuff in your brain. Like he'll be like, I don't know if you're listening to me or not. You might not be listening. Everything might be going one after the other. But I always remember like the key point. And like it just gives like, I reflect on the conversation that we had, and it's just great that I have him because he motivates me and he picks my brain. He makes me think harder. He makes me like think outside the box. So yet thinking just that Dope Girl, my Dope Girl, like my original Dope Girl definition, not the definition, like my original Dope Girl logo, just that, but you need a definition. You need, what does this mean? And then it was like, whoa, the definition hoodie, and then that became my top seller. So it was just like, I would say like my parents. Yeah. They motivate me a lot.
Say, like even when I deal with adversity, like, you know, say, I don't know, something just happens. I feel like my biggest influence, and this might sound like not cocky, but it might sound weird, but like I like getting that adversity, and then when you win, like I'm gonna post it on my Twitter. Like anything I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna make sure you see me in the limelight when you told me I couldn't do something. So I don't know, I just feel like that feeling of, you know, when you overcome something that somebody told you can't do. I feel like that's probably my biggest influence. Also, is like somebody telling me no, and then I do it 10 times better. Yeah, right. So I feel like that. But biggest accomplishment so far. What do you guys think was the biggest accomplishment that you guys have had so far with, you know, you guys' craft? Would you say Committed is your biggest accomplishment, or as of right now? I know you have more goals and stuff, but what would you say just from when you first started playing to now? Like, what would you say was your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment would be signing early, getting the high school process over early. And then, because last semester I took like 13 classes to graduate early.
Genius.
I'm in the same boat with him right now, because I'm on pace to leave early as well, so I know how that is. But why would you say that's your biggest accomplishment so far?
Because it's not normal. SC is one of the top universities in the nation, and then it's just not normal because everybody doesn't get the opportunity. Mm-hmm. I kind of sometimes overlook the opportunity, kind of downplay it, but it's actually a big opportunity, and just to be able to do it and go for free based off how much time I put into myself, that's pretty big. And then you said the compliments, right? Yeah, so finishing high school early was a big accomplishment for me. Like the 13 classes, that was big. That was very that played a big mental part on myself. Trying to just separate myself. Like my friends going out, but I know I got 7 more classes to do. I can't go out. So I think that is.
Nah, you still gonna go out.
Get that handle.
Yeah, I think that is made me prioritize more. Just put what's important first.
Right.
Like if I want to go out at 10, I need to have this essay due by 9:45. So that is prioritizing and just the whole school process, getting in the SC early, so I can work out and learn the playbook is my biggest accomplishment so far.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far?
I would say my biggest accomplishment so far, I wouldn't even say it's like within food. I would think it's just in general within myself. It's just having that mindset of being able to push myself to, not just stay in the boundaries, having to be able to go out the boundaries and, see what I could really do and be able to fail. The thing to me is failing is so scary to me. I don't want to fail because I don't know how I'm going to get back up. But I've failed multiple times and I've learned to accept it, and that made me that motivated me to really, keep going. And I'm going to fail, but I'm going to get right back up and I'm going to learn from it. So I think that was one of the things that I had to accomplish before I could really, take the Munchies bar to a different level.
What was the question again?
Biggest accomplishment.
My biggest accomplishment?
Biggest accomplishment.
So with my brand, my biggest accomplishment is getting a store. So I would say my biggest accomplishment within myself is bettering myself, learning to not care about others' opinion, learning to not let social media dictate my life, learning to live in real life and not on social media, growing and just bettering myself, I would say, is my biggest accomplishment. I would say my biggest accomplishment is, it sounds like childish, but not getting in trouble. Not doing dumb stuff, just not doing all the wrong stuff. I would say, and make my parents proud. That's my biggest accomplishment. My dad told me he was proud of me 3 months ago. He texted me and was like, "I'm proud of you," and just it made me feel really good because it's whoa, and then if you know my dad, he's hard. So it's getting that for him was whoa, you really are proud of me. And then we got off the freeway the other day and my mom was like, "I'm proud of you," and it was just whoa. It feels really good, just coming from messing up and just doing dumb stuff. And also, if you keep taking this path, you're not gonna be your life is gonna go downhill. You're not the path you're taking. I would say the path that I was taking, my life was just this it was just the wrong path. It was just all the wrong stuff. And then it's crazy because seeing all the people that I was associating myself with, they all in and out of jail and just doing dumb stuff. And then it was just really not my life because that's not my parents. That's not where I came from. It was social media influencing me to want to go do all the bad stuff, wanting to go to the Airbnbs with all the gangbangers, just doing all the wrong stuff. So I would say my biggest accomplishment was making my parents proud this year.
Yeah, I like that. I can't even say my biggest accomplishment yet, man, but it's happening soon. But so far, I would say, I would say probably just making the LA Times, making the LA Times not in a, not necessarily me committing or anything, making the LA Times because I have a show. Like I said, it just shows my versatility, and then getting in the paper is that's something that that never goes away. So. Yeah, I would say that starting the show is also one of my biggest accomplishments, but I would say just getting the paper and also inspiring others. It's a cool feeling when people reach out to you and try to figure out, how to start this, or how can I start a podcast, or what did you do, and I get to just help someone. So knowing that, I get to help someone and they start a podcast, it's I kind of influenced them to start a podcast, or I helped them out a little bit. So that I would say just being able to help others and, being versatile is probably my biggest accomplishments. But future goals for this year, I know we're kind of still in the pandemic, but it's a long year to go. So what would you say is some of your goals or something that you want to accomplish? I know you guys got a lot of personal goals, but what is that one thing that you want to accomplish for this year?
What month is it? February?
Yeah. I know, bro.
I've been debating either if I want to have a food truck or if I actually want to have a spot. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of in between because I feel like food trucks are booming right now. Like, you feel me? Everybody's, I could just park up type stuff, but I feel like I want to be in a, I don't know what that's called, like an enclosed space. Like, I want to be settled, and I feel like that's how I've been doing it. So I feel like that's how I want to do it. So I feel like my biggest goal for this year is to really look into that and, you know, get it done.
That's dope. What about you, Tim?
Biggest goal for this year is making new habits, killing procrastination, making better use of my time, and better expressing myself. I'm gonna say that, better expressing myself.
My biggest goal is getting my store on Melrose. I really want a store on Melrose by the end of this year, and I will have a store on Melrose by the end of this year.
My biggest goal, I'll probably just say like, taking the show to the next level. Like, you know, it's not, I don't know, it's not too many people that have a show at 17 years old where they just interview a whole bunch of people and get to know their background. So any way that the show can take off and hit new levels, I would say is my biggest goal. And then, you know, I don't know, I mean, I'm on pace to graduate early, so like I said, this year is long, so I'll probably just say, you know, I'll be a senior, school start August, so yeah, getting that done, because I want to enroll, what was that, winter, fall, spring? Spring, right? Fall, yeah, I want to enroll in the fall, so I'm pretty much done, so I think if I get that out the way, I'll be 18. Spring, yeah, I'll be 18, so I just want to stay on that. I think that would be a big goal for me. But yeah, so wrapping up, I know you bought some stuff for us because I haven't been able to go all the way out there to get the stuff, but can somebody get the sliders for us, please? Because we're going to try it right here.
They probably, you don't want more.
I'm going to still eat it. I'm going to try it. But yeah, I went on your page and I just seen that, you know, you make a lot of things. So she bought some sliders for us to try. I think you already had these, huh? Yeah, I ain't had them before, but
Totally like down the street for me, so I'd be like, bro, come get some.
What inspired you to like make these? Cause, you know, I gotta try it. Yeah, what inspired you to? What
I
inspired
really
you?
just be bored, like, and I feel like I told you, like, food is my craft, so it's like I just be like coming up with stuff in my head. I feel like I could just be sitting there. At first it wasn't it was just a slider. And it was just a slider, and then I had like, you feel me? I'm like, damn, this just sounds fire. Like,
Oh yeah.
The same red chicken with the one with the. I'm excited.
What is it, barbecue, right? It's barbecue match?
Chipotle, oh God.
Yeah, bro.
So he's much for.
But yeah, that's dope. But my bad, this feels good. But yeah, that's it for episode 2. Thank y'all for coming on, and I'll be back to you with the next episode.
Can I say something? You are absolutely great at this.
Oh, thank you.
I know you said this is your second podcast, but the way that you ask your questions and you transition into your next question or feed off of the answers that your guests have given you is outstanding.
Thank you. I mean, like I was saying, like is it recording? I hope so. But like I was saying, like I just wanted to communicate with people. Like a lot of people, especially now, they don't have this outlet to talk to people and really express themselves. So I don't know. It's just a good feeling, like putting the limelight on us. Like we do a lot of great things. Like Austin, you 16, right? Yeah, she's 16. She has her own clothing line. It's really big out here. So I just feel like a lot of people, especially adults, they don't think about putting the light on us, or they don't try to help us. So I was like, no, why not? Why not? I do it myself. So